Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa Allen. So for my community mapping project, I kind of had a difficult time at first, just not knowing where to look or where to start. But then after I got to digging and looking around, I realized that there really are a lot of places near me that will hire young adults and adults that have mild to moderate disabilities. Um, So the high school in my town, let me rewind a little bit. So I live in a pretty small town, and we don't really have that many businesses. So for my community, I included my small town and then the larger town next to us. That's only about 15 minutes away as far as places that would be a possibility to go work or visit. So the high school in my town has an 18 plus program for kiddos who have met all of their high school requirements but haven't aged out of public education yet. So they do like job training and life skills training, how to cook and clean and live independently or somewhat independently within your parents' home or whatever your situation is. And then they also kind of figure out what these kids like. So if we have kids that like animals a lot, then they will take them to our local animal shelter and have them volunteer and kind of do different job tasks there, figuring out what it's like to go to work and then work when you get there. So that's really awesome. So I kind of that was my starting point. The places that this 18 plus program already has kids hooked up with, as far as places that will hire in our community. And then I just kind of thought, okay, what's something else that's going to be like this, and branched out from there. So I think that's really cool that we have this program. But just in my day to day life, going to places around town, there's really only two or three spots that I notice young adults or adults with disabilities at work. Um, so I thought that was interesting that we have this program, and then I found all these other places in my town and the town next to us that will hire young adults with disabilities, or and some even have like training programs in place for when they hire people like this, like Lowe's and Home Depot and Albertsons, Brookshires, different chains like this. They're ready, but I never see people at some of them. I do at Albertsons and Brookshires. Those are my two that I already knew of. Um, so I couldn't help but wonder why, if we have this training program at the high school and we have all these places that are willing and ready to hire, why are they not there? So that's kind of where my mind is on the back half of this assignment. Is there a disconnect somewhere between graduating from high school and getting into the adult world where it's just we're not connecting? Could it be because of transportation? I didn't find any kind of transportation programs for our young adults with disabilities who don't drive, and a lot their parents still work. So I can't wonder if they don't have an opportunity to get to work, which makes me really sad and wonder why we don't have this. We don't even have Uber out here, so that's not an option either. We don't have Ubers and we don't have taxis, so I feel like that's an area where we're lacking and we need to advance in my community. Um, so one of the places that does hire that I see people working at is Albertsons, and that's where I do all my grocery shopping. So I went to Albertsons and interviewed one of their HR people about the hiring process and what accommodations they make, things like that. And through talking with her, so in my mind, I knew of one person who worked there, and he bags, and he's so friendly, and he always helps me in the car, and is wonderful. Um, so I was thinking, well, he's your employee that has a disability, but I found out through our conversation that there are a lot more that I didn't realize that I just don't see because they're not bagging. They work in the back stocking or unloading boxes off the truck, different things like that that I hadn't even thought of as a possibility. just because I hadn't seen it. So that was really cool to me to realize that there are more people being employed that maybe I just didn't realize because I'm focused on my task that I'm doing whenever I'm at these places, and not just looking around and trying to evaluate all the employees while I'm there. So this project has been really eye-opening, and very interesting, because not only because I found all these wonderful resources for young adults in my community, but also because it got me thinking about what else we need and what else we can do to make our community just as accessible and just as functional for these young adults with disabilities as it is to myself. So that's kind of where I'm at. Thanks, guys.